But here we are, Ecuador, you know, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 7 months, and they're still playing pandemic, you know, and state of emergency is still on. You're looking at history right here, and you're not seeing any mask. Right there. Watch him change it and go paint a mask on him. He said stay in Poland. She said don't come to Ecuador. And I'll get to these in a second, but I can see why people and how actually people formulate certain opinions, because if you've got people, they are in touch with the situation of where they personally are at the moment. A lot of times their opinions of some other place come from expat forums, and that's a challenge. It's a problem, because if you go by what expat forums are saying, I call it forum as a generic form of description, but it could be social media, whatever, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or even a local website. For example, if you go to the expat forum, not picking on any particular country, so I won't mention a name, but even if it was Ecuador, but you've got a lot of these expats that are just kind of just accepting the status quo. Oh, I am older, therefore I must be at risk, and because I am older and I'm at risk, therefore I accept the narrative, and therefore I'm going to promote the narrative. You see how everything kind of snowballs, and kind of one thing leads to the other, kind of a domino effect. So the thing is that being older does not 100% equate with you're going to get sick and die, okay? And I've met people, my neighbor was 70, and I started chatting with him one day, and he said to me, you know what, out of the blue, he said, you know what, I don't take any prescription drugs at all. I have no pain, and I'm in perfect health. And he's 70 years old. So, you know, it is possible to be older and be super healthy. If you look at countries like Japan and some other Asian countries, you've got a lot of healthy people going on, you know. Life expectancy is much higher. So you know, the point being that people have this idea that 2 + 2 = 5, or I've got to be a zealot for this narrative because I'm in the high-risk group, you know, and it's not that there aren't people that are not in the high-risk group, it's just that this idea that is feeling like there's nothing you can do about it, you know, you're stuck, there's nothing you can do about it, therefore we're stuck with this situation. And but you can take care of your health. You can do things to be healthier. And I mean, this is really huge for Americans, because historically they haven't done that. They have put health on the back burner because well, you know, they're not self-sufficient thinking folks. And when it comes to these kinds of things, Americans in general, not everyone, there's lots of self-sufficient folks in America, plenty of them, but especially in the older retirement community and the older community, there's a lot of people that just really rely on institutional health care and institutional help. And you know, more power to you if that's you. Everyone makes their own choices in life. So I'm not here to tell people what to do or how to live. I'm just saying that, you know, this idea that there's no hope. You know, there's no hope. We're stuck with this narrative. You're going to see this narrative all over the forums. You're also going to see shills in the middle of that, because there's so much support for this. You know, everybody must do this so we can all not drop dead from this virus thing. You've got shills in there that and you see these shills because when you read what they have to say, there's just no end to it. It's like, okay, we're going to be stuck with this forever. And you know what? This is how things are going to be. So don't expect it to be any different, you know. But you come on down to Ecuador anyway. And a viewer said, after watching our Poland video, she said, oh my gosh, people look so normal over there. And here, everybody's wearing a mask. There's cops everywhere. There's no freedom anywhere here. There's military, there's cops, there's mandatory masks, even outside. And there's no freedom here. And my other friend said, you know what? People are so polarized here in the States. That's just a buzzword for people are on each other, and they are. In America, people have been that way, and in general, you know. So that's not a good thing, and this is just another reason for people to get on each other. And I see it, and they do it online too. And so what people need to do is just kind of learn the principle of live and let live. Okay, so live and let live. And in Poland, you have that feeling. People do look normal there. It's amazing. She said, don't come to Ecuador. There's no freedom here. And wow, Poland looks normal. What should you do? Should you listen to the forums? Should you listen to the viewers? And I say, you know what? Don't be a cog in the wheel and try to understand something that is outside of what you're being told, because what you're looking at is usually really superficial, and the fact that everybody parrots the same thing tells you that, oh, there must be more to it, and there is more to it. So I encourage you today to travel, and even if you end up in a place like Ecuador where it looks like there's no freedom, you can let people know how you feel about it. You can tell people, no, I don't want my hands sprayed with that garbage. You know, no, I don't want to step in the silly pan, you know, that whatever you think it's going to do. No, I don't want to do that. It's possible, you can do that. And, you know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to listen to these groups of people that fall into a certain category that think all of the same way and that you're stuck with this kind of a life. You can still enjoy things, although our surroundings are a lot different than they used to be. Hello, how are you? Our surroundings are a lot different than they used to be, and therefore things are different. So that's another thing you want to be thinking about and making decisions about. I was talking to a sanitation worker here in Guayaquil, and he told me, you know, there's been a lot of deaths. He told me the numbers, so I kind of stepped back a little, did a little mental math, you know, and I went back to him, I said, you know, that's 1%. And he kind of, you know, that made him think. And then he said, wait a minute, no, that's, the figure was just for Guayaquil, not all of Ecuador. And then I said, okay, so I stepped back again and did a little more math, and I stepped back and I said, you know, that's 3%. Even the figure he gave me just for Guayaquil, I said, that's 3%. And then he stepped back again and like really thoughtful, like, no, 3%. That's like, you know, okay, that's like consistent with flu numbers, you know. So the thing is that most people, I have found, like if you go in a neighborhood and ask somebody where such and such a street is, even if it's 2 streets away, they won't know where that is. My experience is 9 out of 10 people don't know their own neighborhood, let alone what the population of their country is, you know, or maybe even their city. So a lot of people aren't thinking about the population of their country or their city and what these numbers really mean when you put them in proper context, okay? And so when they hear these numbers, and you know, you've got people that like to throw around numbers. And so, you know, the way to stay one step ahead of that is to do the math and know the numbers. Now,
and it's noisy.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Most places in the world that have some kind of semblance of civilization have some kind of a constitution and human rights. And Ecuador is no exception. And the state of emergency is only supposed to go for short periods. But here we are, Ecuador, you know, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 7 months. Here we are, 7 months later, and state of emergency is still on. Even if maybe 10 or 20% of it, or a small section of it is retracted, the majority of it is still here. So you see the truck with the yellow lights right there, and right in front of it there's a police motorcycle, and what they're doing is it's an escort. I don't know, is there a special name for that, where they lead on the front.
The guy called it an escort. It's escorting us.
Yeah.
Show that in here. It's just us. No one in.
So we've got the whole bus to ourselves.
No one in.
And they're escorting the bus to our room.
Did he already call that guy?
There it is. The sun's just now going down in Guayaquil, Ecuador. It's kind of pretty out there. Warm here and humid. For September. We're on the 12th floor.
And this is the what I'm saying, like 7 months later. I mean, the initial lockdown was based on, you know, astronomical projections that they were projecting out all these millions of deaths, and yet we still have restrooms closed in public places in a country like Ecuador. You know, all it does is hurt the local economy, because how long are people going to stay out here with no restrooms? It's funny because I've had Ecuadorians say to me, Ecuadorian commenters say, you know, you should take this seriously, people are dying. And of course the answer to that is, since when have people not been dying? You know, it's like, since when have 80-year-olds not been dying? I mean, if you're 80 years old in bad health, were you expecting to live another 80 years? I mean, if I'm 80 years old and I'm in bad health, I imagine something's gonna get a hold of me, and it's gonna happen. I mean, Jack LaLanne died of pneumonia at 99, so if it can get him, it could get you, because he's like Mr. Fitness. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with me, and have a nice day. Bye.